Hello, Cindy here with Create Your Own Luck and Love. Welcome. I'm so excited to talk to you guys today about this topic around what do you do when you're dating someone, you're dating a guy, and he says, I don't like labels. So we're dating exclusively. You are intimate together. Everything feels like it's in place. However, he says he doesn't like labels. What does that mean, and how do you navigate that? So first off, if a man says that to you, I get to acknowledge that my 5-year-old is playing in the living room, so you might hear some screams, and I promise it's nobody torturing him. It's him having a good time. So anyway, so first of all, I want you to acknowledge, I want to acknowledge that when that happens, right? So when you're dating a guy, it seems great, right? I'm not dating anyone else. We're just seeing each other. We're intimate, all of that good stuff. But yet he says he doesn't like labels. What I would encourage you to do is to get really honest with yourself and feel like, is that diminishing your value? Is that diminishing what you deeply desire within your heart? And what may be coming up for you is you're afraid of him actually of saying something because you don't want to appear bitchy, you don't want to push him away, you want him to like you, right? And you really like him. So those are good ingredients that you really like. And part of how to set yourself up for success when it comes to this type of relationship, part of this is utilizing intuition and also really looking at the big picture. Does this guy really possess the qualities that you want? And getting curious about that. So when you say you don't like labels on relationships, why is that? And you can even has he been married before? You can reflect back into his life and see, we've all been wounded. We've all had things happen that actually make us fearful of, making that next level commitment. So listen to what he has to say. Listen to if he says, gosh, every time I do that, I've been really hurt. So yeah, I can appreciate and understand that, because in any relationship development, there's going to be resistance. There's going to be resistance from him, and there's going to be resistance from you, believe it or not. And if you've been in a pattern where you've been in relationships where it hasn't felt fully committed, or you haven't been in, excuse me, haven't been in a relationship for a long time, then these are some things to really look at. Is this really aligned with what I want? If you want a relationship, or you want a man next to you that says, gosh, this is my girlfriend, I'm really proud to have her as my girlfriend, she's an amazing woman and a great catch. Of course, right? You want that. If you're watching this, there's probably something that aligns with you here. So there might be some settling happening, or there's an evolution that occurs, because it can take some time to actually break down each person's walls and fully trust. Because again, most of us, unless there's a lot of deception and things like that going on, and someone that's just a sociopath or narcissistic, then everybody wants love and connection. Okay, so going back to that, what do? Well, you get really honest with him, and you say, look, I really like you, and I really enjoy spending time with you. And for me, what I'm looking for is a real relationship that does evolve into a commitment where we consider each other partners, something that leads towards marriage. Is that something you're open to? Ask the question, pause. Great. Or is that something you're open to with the right person? Great. Because how many of you guys have dated someone or been in a relationship for a while that was, the lines were blurred, and the minute that you drew a boundary, you let the relationship go, a month or two later, he starts dating someone else and gets engaged? Who's had that happen? It's horrible, right? I mean, I've experienced things like that. He married the next woman. You're sick and tired of being the one that preps him. Well, here's the deal. If he says adamantly, yeah, I don't like to label things, let's just continue going with the flow, you get to really look at, am I settling? Because men will say that when they have no real intention of marrying you or going to that next level. They'll pacify it. Not all men will do this, but men will. It's kind of like something you might do too. It's something you might do to manipulate a situation and being a people pleaser. Right? You might try to people please him into liking you, and then there's some guilt that goes underneath that towards him. There's this turning around of guilt, shame. I hear this a lot when women, they'll say, I'm really intuitive and I'm an empath. Here's a newsflash. All women are intuitive, and men are in tune too. So if you're not actually operating at what your standards are, here's what happens. Underneath that, it's like a bubbling brew that's coming up of neediness. And all women that are on here, they hate being needy. Neediness might equal vulnerability, which is bullshit, because vulnerability is the most beautiful thing. Men love vulnerability. It's all about your languaging and your attitude. So here's the thing. You can't be afraid to walk away. You can't. You get to really look at, okay, so he says he doesn't like labels. And don't go into that space of, I don't trust him, he doesn't want me. Well, if he doesn't, you get to look at, if he's not interested in me that way, then I don't want to be interested in him. Life is too short. He's got some really great qualities. I get to move forward. And you get to decide, if he's not willing to really be in a truly exclusive relationship, then you get to not give him relationship benefits, which would include intimacy, which could be hard when you're like, I really love intimacy. I love our intimacy. But if that's going to end up hurting you, then you would be best to say, you know what, I'm not comfortable with that until I feel like I'm secure in the relationship. And that also shows up with actions. He can say, I'm just not ready for a label. And you can kind of hang in there and see what happens. If he's contacting you, you're seeing him regularly, he's moving things forward, he's making plans, you guys have planned trips together, whatever you're doing, then that's an indication that he's invested. that's an indication that he's invested. But if you always feel like you're at arm's length, and again, there's an evolution to relationship. So it could be that you're in a stage where it's early, it's too soon, then you get to actually pull back. I do not recommend getting intimate with a guy for at least a few months and making sure that you're in an exclusive space. Because the longer he has to get to know you without that intimacy, the stronger the chances are that he's going to put more energy into it, and he's going to actually want to be with you after sleeping with you. How many times have you been in a situation where you've been intimate with a guy and then you notice him really pulling back, right? It's not an accident. And men do connect physically. So the more of a connection, a real connection there is before that, the lesser chances of this happening. So if you're dating him, you see how that's going, you just say, hey, so what, exclusivity or, being a girlfriend provides for me, it provides security and that, I get to invite you to family gatherings. We get to do things together where I feel a part of, and I want to include you as a part of. So this isn't about punishing, it's just really about languaging and being open to what's possible. And if the guy is I say dodging, then and you feel it in your body. So you get to take some time, and how do you feel it if you're not used to feeling because you're not intimate in your life, which a lot of people aren't, then you get to spend some time breathing. So how do I feel when I'm away from him? This is a good indicator. Do I feel anxious? Do I feel worried? Do I feel concerned as to when he's going to call me? If you feel that a lot, then that's an indication. And it's an indication that it's not a secure situation. And now there's usually some of that in the beginning of like, what's going on? But if you feel really connected with them when you're with them and then not when you're away, there's a disconnect. But if you're feeling connected in both ways, then that's a really, really good thing. Now, if you're like, Cindy, I've never felt connected with a guy when I've been away from him, then that's something that I recommend taking a deeper look at. If you have questions for me around this area, if you feel like, gosh, I don't know what to do, here's the simple steps. Get really honest with what you want. And then if you're in the situation where there's gray area here, or you've been in I don't know why I'm feeling called to share this, but if you've been in a relationship with them that was committed before, and then there was a break or it shifted, and he's a little more casual and says he just doesn't want to put any labels on it, he doesn't want to put any pressure on it, and you're feeling insecure, you're not feeling grounded about this, then there's reason for that. So know that a man could be in a committed relationship with a woman and then go into casual mode with her. He can change his mind. So if you're in this place where you're feeling a little confused about your love life, you're feeling discouraged, there's some, the holidays are coming up, there's some definite confusion happening in your life and you'd like to get some questions answered, what I'm going to invite you to do is this. Call me, text me at this number, 424-266-8385, 424-266-8385. So text me your question. about this area. Text me what's happening, and what my big promise to you is to coach you around what is happening and give you solid feedback as to what I see and what I recommend doing moving forward. I hope this helps you. Please let me know. Have you been in a situation where he says he doesn't like labels or something along those lines? And if you have, just drop in there, yes, I have. And if you feel called to, let me know what you did about that. Or if you're still in a situation like that. So yes, I've been there, I'm in that situation right now, because I'm here to help you. All right, lots of love and light, you guys. Have an amazing day. If you know somebody that really needs to hear this right now, please share the love with them. It would, it helps me out, and it would help me to help them. If you're on YouTube, you like what you see, just give me a like and subscribe. It helps me be higher on the search rankings and get more exposure. And that is all. If I see you on IGTV, lots of love, all the good stuff. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.